This is Deborah the Judge, all the way from Putnam County, Florida. So, hello, judges. How you guys doing this evening? And usually I don't come on this late, okay? But I had a lot of stuff to do. For those who are new to the channel, please understand this is an opinionated podcast. My opinion and my opinion only. We can always agree to disagree. And for those who don't know, I moved from Atlanta area here to Florida in the rural area on the lake. So I purchased a trailer and I'm rehabbing the trailer. So today it was a busy day running to Lowe's to pick up what they call floor boring boards so that I could replace floorboards in the kitchen that were sinking. So I did that as well as had some trimming along the floorboards. So I'm going to show you this real quick before I get into the podcast because I got a couple of things that I want to talk about. But for those who have been following me as far as my rehab, oh, it's so dark, but have been following me on my basically sectioned off to save my heat because it's about 50 degrees. But anyway, so this is, if you can see or not, I'm not sure, but this is the flooring that I had. Now, for those who were looking on yesterday when I showed you guys the floor, this right here was nothing but wood under the bottom. And so this is the what I would call the trimming, the gray trimming that I'm going to use and to fix that up. So that's where I'm at when it comes to doing the rehab. And of course, as you can see here, I put my pictures and shit up. So I'm kind of, slowly but surely getting it together. Slowly, surely getting it together. And basically, if you ever think about buying any property and getting some land and doing what I did, at the end of the day, it's a lot of work, okay? But just think about it. You save so much money when you do it that way. And then you get a chance to be a part of getting everything done. So this is what my curtain is, right? So I saved my heat and shit. Look, you see that? And that's all I need for the whole house because in the morning it'll be hot again. It'll be like starting about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It'll be like 75 degrees. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into this real quick. I'm not going to be long. So let me just hit these points real quick. I want to talk about Israel at first. And what I'm going to try to do, as I told you guys before, I sit and look at a number of videos on YouTube, read a lot of articles, so that you guys won't have to, and just kind of sum it up a little bit, so you guys can keep up with what's going on. Now, yesterday I talked about cyber attacks. I talked about the new movie that the Obamas did. Um, I thought was really good. It's on Netflix. I think it's called When the World Leaves You Behind or something to that effect, which was a really good movie, but it had a lot of um, things in it that made you really think about being a prepper, which I am a prepper anyway. I've got a generator and I'm getting ready to do some learning how to do solar panels and things of that nature. But basically, that's a good movie. I'm not going to give you any spoilers about it, but I think it's a really good movie. I think everyone should really see. So, update on Israel. So, Israel now has taken over the center of Gaza. Yes, they've taken over the center of Gaza, and it's about a 30-mile radius area they've taken over. They're doing very good. They're very strong. They also have recovered two hostages, dead hostages. And as I told you guys before, that a lot of these hostages, I believe, are already dead. A lot of them are already dead. They probably still got, they say 137 hostages, but I'm believing that half of those people, unfortunately, are gone because they have been bombarding all of those tunnels. And now, yesterday and today, they've been using gas. So they gassed these tunnels. At first, they said they were going to flood the tunnels, but I think they decided to gas the tunnels first. Okay, because Biden and the administration, and of course around the globe, for the people of Palestine are saying, you need to put this shit to an end. You know, quickly, let's put this to an end. But as I told you before, Israel said never again. And they meant that shit. When they said this ain't gonna happen to us again, it's not. And so they're making sure, doing everything. And now, to be honest with you, I don't really think they really even care as far as who dies at this point. They just want to get rid of Hamas. A number of leaders now have been captured, and the biggest area that they're in, they basically have taken over the most important parts of Gaza, and they're moving south. So anyway, let me go to the next. So I want to talk about Trump really quick. So you guys know that Jack Smith is the prosecutor for this January 6th thing that's going on with Trump. And basically, he's petitioning the Supreme Court to kind of hurry up with this trial. And the reason that he wants the trial to hurry up with Trump is so that he can try to convict him before the election. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court, you cannot rush the Supreme Court, okay? It doesn't work like that. There's a time frame that happens with this, okay? And they're not going to just be rushing because the prosecutor wants it to be rushed, because they know if they don't get Trump and the trial is not completely finished, because he still is able to be on the ballots, that he can pardon himself. And this is what they're afraid of. Okay, so that's why he's trying to rush the judges, but they're not going to have it. I want to talk about Kodak Black. So I am, of course, living in Florida now. And I don't know if you guys remember a guy by the name of Kodak Black. He is a rapper here in Florida, famous rapper. And he is one of the rappers that Trump pardoned when Trump was president. He's still the president. But anyway, when he was the real president, okay? And this guy was very successful. He got a lot of money and all this kind of stuff. A lot of young people here in Florida just love him. And he continually find himself in a lot of trouble, because now he's admitted that he's got a problem with meth. Not cocaine, but meth. And meth is just as bad as crack cocaine. So, he's steadily getting into trouble. Now they got him charges of possession of drugs and this kind of stuff. But I'm thinking that this man, really young man, he's 26 years old, very talented. He really needs to go to rehab. And the other thing too, and don't get mad because I said this, okay? But sometimes when people go to jail, they go to prison. Sometimes this is what helped him to kick this habit. And I know you're gonna mad that I say this, but maybe he needs to go to jail so he can kick this damn habit. You know, and I don't want him to do a long time because I don't want him to become institutionalized, because that's a whole nother story. But if there's no other choice for this guy, he's just going to kill himself. He reminds me kind of DMX. Y'all remember DMX? DMX was very, very talented, very smart. He knew a lot of stuff. He understood a lot about politics and things like that. Hey, Kelly Ray. Hey, sweetie. Don't forget, Kelly Ray has a YouTube channel, so don't forget to hook up with Kelly Ray on her YouTube station, as well as Maurice Delk. Check him out too. She has a very good podcast, and I like her because she's really cool when she's telling her videos and things like that. Sometimes I get super hyper and shit. You know me, I get real hyper. But let me go ahead and finish with that. So I think he really, really needs some serious help, because when people like that get into meth and they get on drugs, nobody wants to be around them. And you can't tell them anything because the drug has got them. It's almost like they're possessed. And you seen DMX before he died. He was just blatantly out of his damn mind. And I think that's where Kodak Black is headed. But I'm hoping that they find some help for him. But like I said, if he goes to jail, that might help him out. Just the fact to get him away from that. And even though we know that the jailhouse sometimes got more drugs and shit than anything else, they got more shit going on in the jailhouses than any place. So anyway, let me go ahead to the next. LeBron James. I want to talk about LeBron James. Now, I know it's a lot of people that love Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter, okay? But so does everybody else's life matters, okay? But we know that proportionately, blacks have more percentage as far as killings, whether it's black people killing black people or white people killing white people. We know that there's a high percentage of killings that occur in the black community. And so at the end of the day, we got to think about holding everybody responsible for black lives, not just white police officers. Everybody needs to be accountable. And we in the community, when we cover up people who we knew are doing bad things. And in the black community, that's something that we've always done that we really need to get away from. It's like nobody ever wants to be known as a snitch. So everybody in the community knows where the drug houses are. They know where the drug houses are. They know where the drugs, who's selling the drugs. We know all of this, but we don't say anything. Why? Is because the people that selling the drugs are people that we know. Sort of like with the Palestinians. The Palestinians, it's a lot of those people that are dying that shouldn't be dying. Okay, they know who Hamas is. They know who the players are, but they're not going to tell. And that's the same thing, like I said in the black community, is that we know who the dirty dogs are, but we don't tell. So let me go on to that. So with LeBron James, I want to talk about him because he went to his son's basketball game and he did not stand for the flag. It's sort of like he pulled a Colin Cap moment, okay? And I don't even want to talk about Colin Cap, okay? Because at the end of the day, the same NBA, not NBA, but the NFL, who he said was so racist, he was breaking his neck to get back to play with them. Then he sued them, and then he got a contract with Nike, and then he wanted to write a book. So he got a lot of money from all of this, and I guarantee you that none of that money was spent on anything that dealt with Black lives. It was all about him at the end of the day. And by me being prior military, I just believe that if you live in America, that you should stand for the flag. And that's just me. It has to do with fighting for this country, fighting for the rights to be able to live in a country where basically, you have the freedom to do a lot of different things that you can't in other countries. Even as black people, it's not the way we would want it to be. It's not perfect. Okay, we're progressing a lot as time moves on, but at the end of the day, it's not like a lot of other countries. You can believe that. As an African American that's been over to Israel a couple of times, and people can say what they want to say, but there's a lot of people over there in Israel who are black who are having a hard time. So it's not just here; it's every country where you have melanated people. And even in Africa, where you have black people selling black people, misusing black people. So it's just a culture of Black lives really don't matter. So anyway, so let me go ahead and about that. So he should have stood for the flag, because you got all these young people who are there, who are looking up to this man, this black man, probably the most important figure in that particular building, in that gymnasium. And as soon as he came in, he came in during the national anthem, which is something that you don't even do. When the national anthem is playing, you just stand where you are until the national anthem is completed, and then you walk to your seat. That he just walk on in there, and then don't sit down, I don't know, maybe he just wasn't thinking, or he wasn't thinking, okay? But at the end of the day, you can see other people, little kids with their hand over their heart, proud of this country. And at the end of the day, I don't think I would want to be anywhere else right now. You know, to be honest with you, I've been to Italy, Switzerland, Africa twice, Israel. I've been somewhere, Canada. All these places, Jamaica's and Mexico and shit. I've been there, so I know what it's like to be a African American and being in other countries and how they treat African Americans. And I know there's a lot of brothers on here right now, the passport brothers, okay, who go to these other countries and they mess with these other beautiful exotic women, okay, and the Asian women and the Indian women. But at the end of the day, you're in a different culture. So if you want a woman who is submissive, per se, okay, that means that you really got to stand up and really be the provider, because not only will you be the provider for her, but you'll be taking care of her family too. And a lot of times y'all don't be thinking about that in other countries you got to take care of the woman, but you got to take care of their family too. Let me see what Kelly say. LeBron thinks he's bigger than life. Yeah, he does. His kids ignore it too, but I blame him, not the kids. Well, like I say, a lot of people think because they got money or they got status or they got prestige that they're above everything. You know, like they talk about Trump, but Trump doesn't, even though he's got money in this, he doesn't really feel like he's the world. He really wants, I think he really wants to do service for the United States. For himself too, because he's in the United States. His family is here, got corporations here. He's here in Florida. Him and DeSantis, I love Florida because they don't put up with that bullshit here in Florida. They don't put up with the immigration bullshit that y'all see going on in Arizona, where it's flooded. It's flooded in Arizona, but they closed the Arizona border. And I know a lot of y'all probably say, well, it's about time. Well, this is where the racist shit comes in. They closed the Arizona border at Lukesville because the people were coming in from Africa. That's why they closed the border. They didn't close the border. If they was Mexican, they wouldn't have closed the borders. So I'm just saying. So this is what I'm saying when I do talk about how racial shit happens that people don't really think about. But the other part in Texas, where you got the Venezuelans and the Mexicans and the Hispanics coming in, that border ain't closed. But you see how quick they closed that Arizona border when they found the Africans coming in. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So when I talk about people that's being beyond, I want to talk about P. Diddy, and then I'm getting ready to get out of here. But there's one thing that I wanted to say. So you guys know that the FBI went to P. Diddy's house and they confiscated 32 videos from his home. 32 videos. So you know they're getting ready to probably to pull him up on, I would say, RICO charges, like they did R. Kelly. And RICO charges is basically sex trafficking underage children from one state to another. That's how they got R. Kelly. That's how they got him. But this is one thing I think that they missed, which I think is extremely important. Okay, listen to this. So if you read the documented evidence from Cassie, and that's the young lady who filed the first charges against P. Diddy, who won almost $100 million. I thought it was $30 million, but it's about $100 million that she got. Okay. In that particular lawsuit, it talks about how P. Diddy had her to call up the sex workers. Okay. Call up the sex workers and make appointments to have them come to the house to where they were at. And while they were there, this is interesting. And while they were there, of course, P. Diddy would film it while he was having his fun, okay, at the same time he was filming it. But it was also said that there was a computer that was also turned on. A computer that was also facing the activities. And the first thing that I thought about with that was that if you got a computer and the computer is on, and you guys know that you can record yourself on the computer, you can do a live streaming. So I'm thinking that P. Diddy incident that he did with Cassie or filming whatever, that might have been one thing that was going on. But I think he also may have been streaming the activities of what Cassie was doing on the computer to other people. Now, y'all seen these movies where um these rich people and shit, they would be in their homes or whatever, and then they would be able to stream into, let's say, a site where somebody was actually being killed. Y'all seen that, the movie Hostel, where they could stream in and see shit? Or they would have devious acts of torture and shit. A lot of people don't know that, but when you go on the dark web, and I never wanted to go on the dark web, because once that gets in your computer, if you ever in a situation and the FBI come and get your computer, now you attached to a lot of dirty shit, whether it's pedophilia, trafficking, all of that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that happens on the dark web. So stay with me for a minute. Okay. So he's streaming this activities that she's doing to more elite people that are watching as well. So he ain't the only one that's watching, but he's setting these things up for other people to see. And I believe that these people, these elite people, are the ones who got the real money. Okay, not just the rappers and the Usher and Justin Bieber, who's was misused, and all of these mobiles and stuff. Not just them. I believe that they were more financially people, powered people that don't like to get their hands dirty. So they're not going to go to an all-white party. They're going to be able to see shit at the all-white party, but they're not going to be involved in it. So these are the people with the high-powered money. And it's understand that one of these high-powered persons is P. Diddy's children's godfather. They say this man has got so much money that he got his hands in everything. He owns Airbnb. He just funded Al Gore, who was the vice president at one time, just funded his some type of site he put up. He got investments in McDonald's. I mean, his list, he has his own fucking plane. And they say his plane that he had, that he travels worse than Epstein. So now, y'all know Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. So they say that this guy, I think his name is Blunkin, or Blunkton, something to that matter. But anyway, he's P. Diddy's children's godfather. This white guy, not bad looking, but he had a plane just like Jeffrey Epstein, and they say that all they used to do on this plane is screw people. The women on there. That's all they do is screw. Okay, have sex and wild parties, and they say this billionaire, he was just off the chain. And to be honest with you, P. Diddy has been flying with this guy. Bill Clinton is associated with this guy. But when I looked at his assets, this man got so much damn money. He got billions and billions of dollars. And this is a name that I never heard of. You hear about the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all these people and stuff, the Black Rock group. And I've never heard of him. So I'm thinking that maybe he's one of the groomers of P. Diddy that's over him. At first I thought maybe Weinstein or Quincy Jones, but this man make not Weinstein, but what's his boy's name? Clyde Davis. I'm sorry. I thought Clyde Davis was like the groomer, him or Quincy Jones. But this other guy got so much money, he make Clyde Davis look like he is just he's a poor compared to this mobile, and he's able to keep his name and everything out the limelight. Because I'm thinking, I said, how in the hell did P. Diddy in a matter of 24 hours come up with $100 million like that? I don't care how much money he has. When people talk about he's a billionaire this and he's a billionaire that, that money is in liquid assets. It's not in cash. It's in assets. And if anything, you know anything about finances, you know that it takes a minute, a few days or whatever, for you to liquefy those assets. Just like with Elon Musk, when he was trying to get Twitter. He didn't get Twitter like as soon as he said he wanted it. He didn't have the liquid assets at the time. Not saying he couldn't get it, but you can't get it like that. So in order for P Diddy to settle 100 million like that overnight, where they can just have that 100 million right there, he had to have somebody there also that was be able to facilitate him with that kind of thing. And they also said that this same guy was in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. So I honestly think, as I said before, when he was streaming these activities, I think that these streaming that he did was going to other people that was getting off on what they saw Cassie do too. It wasn't just P. Diddy. And those names, like I said, are not going to probably ever get out. Because if they were going to get out and they were going to go to trial, why isn't it none of these, all these people that's in that book of Epstein, why ain't nobody else going to trial? They got Epstein, but what about all those other people? There was on the island screwing these young girls. They was there. But you see that cut off? And I think even with P. Diddy, if P. Diddy got a man like that that's behind him, even all the stuff that he done did, I don't think that they're going to catch him. I think they're going to be able to pay a lot of these people off. Because if you got somebody much, much higher that's got billions and billions of dollars, it won't be nothing to pay 30 people off. Because how many people going to come out and really is going to be able to afford it now that they know what Cassie has done? So anyway, I'm getting ready to get out of here. But like I said, I don't think that Clive Davis is or Quincy is the head hunter. I think that there's more power players in this. And they have been grooming P. Diddy. He got this shit from somewhere. Because he was hanging with the billionaire that had the plane with all the prostitutes on the screwing and stuff on his plane. Okay? The godfather of his children. But anyway, you guys take care. I'm getting ready to get out of here. Be blessed. They said the American public can't handle what's in the Epstein files. Oh, we can handle it. We can handle it. Everybody know that this is down and raunchy. Everybody know that they kill children, drink blood. Everybody already know that. These are things that have been already said. That's already been out there. We already know all of that. Now, seeing it is is a different thing than actually knowing this it's out there. So, if the American public can't handle it, I can't handle this Trump shit, this bullshit. But you see, they still doing that. It's about giving me a heart attack with this bullshit. But at the end of the day, they not gonna catch Trump. Don't you know if they had something on Trump that they would have did it by now? Everything that they try to do fails. It fails miserably. And as much as they even gonna try to cheat as we come again, because when he does not go to court and he's not convicted before his election, all they're gonna do is try to cheat again. So, one love. Bye bye.